Pre-post routing mode allows you to change where your Eventide stomp box sits within your signal chain. For example, some people like to put their wah before their distortion, while others like to put it after. If you wanted to do this in a traditional way, you'd have to unhook everything and hook it back up with a different signal flow. Now this can be done on the Eventide H9 without removing any cables. In this tutorial, we will show you how to set up your H9 for pre-post routing mode, as well as how to make your cable connections. It is important to set up your H9 for pre-post routing mode before making your cable connections. Doing so will prevent possible feedback or clipping of your signal. We will use the H9 control app to choose these settings, which will then be transmitted via Bluetooth to the H9 hardware. To set up pre-post mode in H9 control, click on the pedal icon, then General Settings, then Routing, and finally Pre-Post. This is a system setting so that your H9 knows to operate in pre-post mode. Once the H9 is operating in this mode, routings are determined by each individual preset. Now that our H9 is in pre-post routing mode, let's make our cable connections. In this example, we will hook up our H9 with a distortion pedal. The instrument is plugged into input 1 of the H9. Output 1 is fed into the distortion pedal. The output of the distortion pedal is fed into input 2 of the H9. And output 2 is fed into the amplifier. Now we're ready to experiment in changing the routings of a preset. Open an algorithm you'd like to use, and to the right of the title of the preset, you will see which routing is set for that preset. In this example, the preset is set for pre, or before the distortion pedal we have hooked up. Let's hear what it sounds like. Now let's suppose we want this pitch shifting effect to play after our distortion pedal. In the upper right hand of the screen, click the More icon. Under Routing, click Post. Now we can see that Post is selected for the algorithm. Let's hear how it sounds. If you like the way the preset sounds after changing the routing settings, you must save it as a user preset. Click Save on the top right of the screen. Choose where you'd like to save it to, and then name the preset. It's best to rename your preset so you remember that this is the version with the routing you've chosen. Another example for using pre-post is before your amplifier or in your amp's effects loop. Plug your guitar into input 1 of the H9, and output 1 goes to your amplifier's input. The amp send is fed into input 2 of the H9, and output 2 is fed to the return of the amp. Then, depending on the algorithm loaded into your H9, you can have the effect either before the amplifier or in the amp's effects loop. Note that when hooking up your gear in this manner, you may encounter a ground loop which could induce a low-frequency hum in your signal. This is not a fault of the H9, it is a grounding issue. Please see the Eventide Audio website for tips on eliminating ground loops. As previously mentioned, the pre-post mode can be set up with just the H9 pedal without the H9 control software. To enter the routing mode on the H9 pedal, press and hold the hot knob button and right foot switch simultaneously for a few seconds to enter the system mode. Turn the black encoder wheel until utility is displayed. Momentarily press the hot knob button. Turn the wheel until routing is displayed. Momentarily press the hot knob button. Turn the wheel to select pre-post. Press and hold the hot knob button and right foot switch simultaneously for a few seconds to exit system mode. Once your H9 is in pre-post mode, you can set each individual preset to operate as pre or post. Press and hold the left foot switch to enter the routing and level parameters for the currently loaded preset. While holding the left foot switch, click the black encoder wheel until the display shows pre or post. Turn the encoder wheel to change the preset from pre to post or post to pre. Release the foot switch. The preset will return to the previous active or bypassed state. Remember to save the preset or the change will be lost. Most importantly, Have fun experimenting using pre-post routing mode, and thank you for using Eventide stomp boxes.